Hi, everybody. Welcome to A Kiss for Luck. I'm Steve Wolf,
I'm Charisse Wolf.
and our regular handicapper from Northern California, Mike Crutchfield. How you doing, Big Mike?
I'm doing so good today because we got Jamey on. So,
Eh.
longtime friend. So, I'm
There
doing
you
really
go.
good and thank you for asking.
Excellent. And in the other box today, special guest Jamey Thomas, trainer extraordinaire. How you doing there, Jamie?
I'm doing good, doing good. Happy to be here.
And
All
he's at
right.
the barn, and it's
That's
dinner time.
Yeah, all the horses are inside eating their food right now.
all
Yeah,
right.
baby.
Cool. All righty, folks. Well, I tell you what we're going to do here. Let's get into the picks because we got a lot of stuff to talk about at the end with Jamie and our panel here of the three of us besides him. So why don't we start off with you, Big Mike? What are you going to give us here as far as picks today?
So, I'm going to give out a late pick five. It's at Saratoga, the late pick five, and it's a $120 ticket. And I feel really good about this ticket. We've been, doing pretty well with these tickets. So, I'm going to go ahead and give this one out. And it starts in race six. And in race six, I'm going to go with the one, two, four, five, eight. And my first preference is actually the number four, but I'll tell you the number eight is 15-1 on the morning line, and I've heard some good things about that horse. This horse will have the lead out of the gate, so that's my long shot play. But again, number four is the horse that I really like. My first preference.
All righty. And what do you got in the next leg?
Okay, so race seven, I'm gonna give out the four, six, well, four, five, six, seven, and with my, I guess the horse that I really like the most is actually the number six. That horse has won four out of five, and it's just sharp as a tack right now. And the five is the 4-5 favorite, and I'm going to try to beat him, but I am going to include him on the ticket.
All righty. Fantastic. And race number eight.
So race number eight, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to single the number five, and the number five is Raging Sea, and it's a grade one winner, grade two winner, and nothing in the field has won anything other than a grade three. And I just think that this horse just has the class advantage on these. It will be a 4-5 favorite, but I think you can single there.
Well, you got a lot of stuff covering him. So what are you doing in race nine there, Mike?
Yeah, so race nine, I'm going to use the seven, 178, and I really like the number eight at 12-1 to come
Ooh.
running late. So, and again, I like 1786, and so I like the eight at 12-1 because I think this horse is primed for a huge run down the stretch. Down the stretch, I think he's going to find his best footing, and it's going to be a really good finish. And then the number six is something I would put in an exacta box with him. This horse was entered in a stakes race 2 weeks ago and scratched for this spot. So again, I think you need to use both the 6-8, but again, we'll use the 1-7-6-8.
Okay, and that six is Cherie Duveau. She's hot as a pistol, so that's a good one
Yes,
to
she
add.
is. Yes,
Yep.
she is. And it's a sprinter stretching out. So I love to play that angle when they go around two turns for the first time. And
Okay.
finally, I'm going to wrap it up, Steve, in race 10. I'm going to use the four,
Yeah.
6, 8, 9 is what I'm
Hmm.
going to use.
Wow. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. Looks like a winner to me. Let's get those home.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And Charisse, what do you have for us?
Well, I know I told you this morning I was just going to do my pick for the Haskell, but I'm going to change that. I'm going to do it quick. I'm going to start in the ninth race. I'm going to do a mid-card pick four. And Mike, you know me well enough after all these months that it's not much money, but I'm taking a shot.
Is
Okay.
it
All
This
more
right.
than
is
$8? Because I would be surprised if it
Probably
is.
not. I haven't added it, but I don't think it is.
I
Okay.
wouldn't doubt it.
All
Okay.
right.
Are you
Okay, here
talking
we go.
Del Mar?
No, Monmouth.
Oh,
On
at Monmouth.
Saturday. On
Okay.
Saturday.
All right. What do we
Yes.
got?
Okay. Ninth race, mid pick four. We're gonna start with the race that was named after Steve and I, the Wolf Hill. Just kidding. Wolf Hill, 100,000, 5.5 on the turf. I'm gonna use the one, Buccerino with Johnny V.
Yep.
My top pick is number 2, Super Chow. Those of you that don't know, my first married name was Chow. Our daughter's maiden name was Chow, But I've always loved this horse. This is his first time on turf. He's been working steadily. I'm just going to take a shot. George Delgado, why not? So I'm 1-2 in that leg. In the 10th race, I'm going to use, I believe it's my single. It is Dorth Vader. Can someone tell me the number on that horse? Because my PPs I drew before.
5.
Dorth Vader, George Weaver with Johnny V again. And then
Okay.
I'm going to go to the 11th race, and I'm going to use my buddy Flavian Pratt on redistricting for Chad Brown. Number, please, Steve?
3.
3, redistricting. And then I'm going to close it out with my pick of the day at Monmouth on Saturday in the Haskell. You ready?
Ready.
I'm not going with Bob Baffert's horse, Mike.
Uh-oh.
I'm taking Gosker. Brendan Walsh, Luis Saez. I know that Luis opted for this horse. He's riding. I think this horse, he's been working steadily again. It's a son of Nyquist, and he's had a little time off. He ran really well on the Preakness behind journalism, and I think he's going to turn the tables on journalism. So I'm going to go with Gosker at a nice 9-2 morning line to take the Haskell.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
But for the
That
pick,
is beautiful.
for the pick four, use Baffert's horse because he's been telling everyone that this horse is working great. He's healthy. He's ready. So I would throw goal oriented into that pick four in the last leg.
Yeah, they thought a lot of that horse early
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
They did.
Charisse. So, yes.
They
That's
sure
it.
did. And 4th in the Preakness, nothing wrong with that. So, okay. Well, Jamey, what do you got for us? Got any picks there?
Well, I think I'm going to do the toughest card in the country. I'm going to do the pick 5 in the first pick 5 at Del Mar.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to go with the 4, 5, 7, with the 5 being my best pick.
Okay.
And that's
All
tomorrow,
right.
correct?
Okay, and then the second race, we're going to go with the 3, 4, 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the 4 horse at 12-1. Those Gulfstream horses seem to do really good when they come over here. And the Sweezy, he's a good trainer, so that's I really like the 4 horse there. I think it's going to be a good bet at 12-1. Then we'll go to the third race, which is my single on the card, the Bob Baffert horse, number 6. You know, he's ran good every time he's ran on the dirt. He's ran really good. And, you know, the bad races have been the 3 races on the turf. I just can't see anybody beating him on the dirt.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that.
We'll go to the 4th race, 2, 5, 6, 8, 11. Then we'll go to the last race in this pick 5. You know, you always got to use Baffert first time starters. You can never lead them out. So I'm going to go with the 2 horse, the Baffert horse, and the 6 horse of Doug O'Neill's. I'm not sure what the ticket is. I think it's a $24 ticket unless I think I added another horse late. So actually it's going to be a little bit more.
Looks like it's 45.
45. There we go.
Yep. All righty.
Okay, Jamey, can I ask you a quick question
Yes.
about the 5th race? I was talking to Steve about this the other day. Number 3, Infinite Spirit, Doc All Red. owned and bred this horse out of one of his wonderful mares, Celestial Being. We trained with Jimmy Glenn, and for this gelding to train this quick, I know it's Los Al, but at 8-1, can't that horse just come in and nail it?
He could, but the Los Al works seem to be a little bit faster than the
Right.
normal, and I think that the Del Mar track and Los Al track is so much different that the Los Al horses seem to get a little tired if you haven't had a couple works over that Del Mar track. That's just my thoughts. Santa Anita
Okay.
track's kind of deep, so that they got a little bit of an advantage, and then you come to Del Mar, that's real sandy, and the Los Al's, dirt, and it just seems to be a lot faster, and it's just hard for those horses to stay fit. And we're talking 6.5 furlongs too. I mean,
Okay.
that's the ways we're going to go. So
Okay.
I did look at that horse, and those works are great, but I just think he could sneak up and bite me in the butt, but I just think that the Los Al horses aren't going to be quite as fit, especially going 6.5.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hey, if you're
Thank you.
not going in the 5th race, Jamey, just put a win place on him, right?
There you go. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Jamey, my friend, let me give you some advice. Whenever Charisse gives you a long shot, just put $2 across the board on it, okay?
Absolutely.
Please.
But here's the thing, Mike. He's 8-1 morning line, and I think people down here in California are going to bet him. I don't think we're going to get much more than 5 or 6-1.
Wow. Yeah.
I
it's
could
hard
be
to
wrong,
tell.
but
Never know.
maybe
Never
I'll
know,
just
never
text.
know.
Maybe I'll just text Jimmy Glenn tonight and say, Jimmy, what do you
Yeah.
think?
Hey, there you go. Okay, well, I guess I ought to throw something in here with all these great picks. I noticed at Del Mar, so they've got they have $1 pick six for this meet. They have the 50 cent pick fours and pick fives, and on opening day here they have three pick fours, 2 through 5, 4 through 7, 7 through 10, and two pick fives early and late. So they got plenty of betting options. And my favorite one is the $3 late pick three. So I'm going to do that one. There's always value because it knocks out a lot of people that just want to play a small ticket. And so I do not want to play a small ticket. So I'm going to start in the 8th race, the Oceanside, and it's a mile on the turf. I am going to go, I think the 3 should win this race, but I'm just not counting on it because it doesn't seem to like to finish up. But again, it's been against Zulu Kingdom, Henry Matisse. I mean, this horse has been up against it. I think the 3 should win, but I'm going to back him up with the 4, Artislas. And that horse keeps getting better every race. I think that one is primed to hit. And Jeff Mullins at Del Mar is no joke. He loves Del Mar. So I'm going to start off with those 2 horses in the 9th race of the pick 3. I got to put the 4 in, the GM Mike Pipey horse. That's going to be likely going to be one of our favorites. And I went Minister Shane and Let Me In, the 5 and the 8. So in that one, I'm going 4, 5, 8. The 5's been off since March 2024, but that's Carla Gaines. She's never going to run a horse if it's not 100%. So I think that horse is going to come back, and I think this is a nice soft spot for it. Let Me In with Kimura. That horse is Mark Glatt, and we all know Mark Glatt. He's a Washington, Seattle kind of guy, and he just loved those 6 furlong sprints. So I'm going to bring Glatt in there too. 10th race, Del Mar, and it's a mile on the turf. We're talking the 6, Lady Chic. That's 5-1 for Sadler and Rispoli. I think that's way too much for that horse. But I also think the 8, American Privilege with Barrios and Sheriffs. That's the one I like the most out of all these. But don't sleep on the 11 and the 12, 15-1 and 10-1. Kyle Frey is, as you probably know, Jamey, Kyle Frey is a hell of a jockey, and he's a hell of a jockey on turf as well. And he just doesn't seem to get his due. He was up there at Golden Gate winning a lot of races. He came down here with his tack, and I think people just do not bet that horse. But I am going to put him in. So we spread in the last one. Hopefully we can get that far. So I'm looking at 6, 8, 11, 12, $72 play at a $3 base wager, and cross our fingers and hope for the best. All right.
Good luck.
So, Jamey, tell us about your training career. Where'd you start, and where was it? And you mentioned a little earlier you started at Los Alamitos, huh?
Yeah, that was when my first trainer's license. Well, I started probably when I was like 5 years old, taking care of the ponies. I got to take care of the ponies. If I wanted to go to the fair, I had to, get some money to go to the fair. So I took care of the ponies from like 5 to 12. And then at 12, my dad let me start grooming horses. So I grew from 12 to 17. I've always been around them. I've hustled book. I've done it all. But I went to Los Alamitos with my dad in 92, and I was assistant trainer, and we were at Los Al, and he said, okay, the meet's over. I'm going home. Or the meet up north is starting. I'm going home. What do you want to do? I go, I think I'm going to start here and start my own and see how I can do. He gave me a couple horses. I got a couple clients, and, I've been doing it for like 26 years now.
Wow. Fantastic. So you were up in Northern California, and then you're now at Emerald. That was probably a shock when Golden Gate went bye, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was unexpected. I can remember the day we were at a charity auction, charity thing for autism. And, all the Northern California trainers were pretty much there at this thing. And all of a sudden, we start getting phone calls and tweets and, texts that Golden Gate was closing, in like 2 or 3 months. And or no, it was almost like 2 or 3 weeks. And we're like, well, what's going on? Nobody said anything to us. Supposedly we're in the black, and now all of a sudden they're not making money. So yeah, it was a huge, disappointment and shock to everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from there, what'd you do? You just went to Northern California, or went over to Emerald up in Washington?
So after that, Pleasanton, Golden State Racing tried to make a meet, and we started at Pleasanton right after Golden Gate closed, and for some reason, Pleasanton couldn't keep its doors open. I don't want to put the blame on anybody, but I think if we would have done it a little different and marketing a little bit better, there'd probably been a chance to make it. But the biggest thing was Southern California didn't want Northern California running, so they did everything they could to make sure that it was tough on us. I mean, we didn't even have some signals at places in Reno and Tahoe and Vegas because they wouldn't sign contracts because of Southern California's pressure on them. Like I said, TOC did not want Northern California to race. They wanted the money to go down south.
Wow. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible. And Jamey, and I'm sure Steve and Charisse will have more questions for you about the TLC and all that. But I know your father really well, and I know how much your father meant to you. And I just want to know how did he actually? What is your fondest memory of your dad and teaching you about training horses, and what's the best thing you've ever learned from your dad about training horses?
Well, the fondest memory, I can remember when I was grooming horses for him, and he had a horse named Annapolis named One Trash Man, and he was getting ready. He was the favorite in $100,000 futurity, and the groom got hurt and couldn't work for like 2 or 3 weeks, and he was like, Jamey, you're going to take care of this horse, up to the race, but I just want to let you know, you're not keeping him. You're just taking care of him for this guy. And, it meant a lot that he had that kind of trust in me, at 16 years old to take care of his best horse. So that's definitely one of the fondest memories. One of the things that I learned from him was, treat everybody as an equal. Every owner, it doesn't matter, where they come from, what they look like. Never think, oh man, this guy, I don't want to train for this guy, or he walks in, the guy's dirty, and he's got no money. You treat them all the same.
Yep. Well, I tell you, that's really good advice. I remember we were in Arizona for 6 years, and there was a guy that came up to the I was a security director for a small little university, and this guy comes up. He was a Hispanic guy, kind of dirty boots and jeans, and he says, "Hey, do you guys want to sell your trailer? Because we had a modular trailer out there we weren't using." And I said, "Well, yeah, go ahead. I mean, get a hold of this guy." Gave him the number and set him up together. and he ended up buying the trailer, and he invited us out to this his ranch in Arizona. So you look at this guy, and he's dressed in a t-shirt, grubby jeans, and dirty boots. And the guy paid 50 grand in cash for the trailer, and he's got this beautiful ranch home. He owns a gravel pit, so he's a working guy. He's probably got about 75 guys that work for him. And the reason he bought the trailer was because there actually were mobile shower facilities in there, because all of his workers loved to play soccer, and he wanted a place where they could shower before they went home to their wives. And that's what he ended up doing. I mean, the soccer field was beautiful. He had lighting for night soccer, because they worked late. I mean, it was, so that's a really good thing. You just can't judge a book by its cover, baby. You just can't do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it looks like Mike dropped off on us video wise. Are you with us still, Mike? No, it looks like he's muted too.
That's what I texted him to check his mic.
Okay. And we'll see if he can we'll see if we can get him going here again. But so so anyway, yep, there he is.
There you
I
are.
don't know what happened. I must have hit the wrong button.
That's all right.
Hey, we have your picks. That's all that matters.
That's right.
Are you
We
gonna
just
go
want to make
halves
money
with me,
off you.
Jamey?
Come on.
Are you gonna go halves with me, Jamey?
What was it, 120?
Yeah.
I'll sell you the money.
All right.
We were talking. I certainly don't want to end it on a negative note because we're having fun here. But I tell you, California racing has got to figure this thing out. It's one hand not shaking the other hand very well. It's like they're missing somewhere in between, and I don't know what the answer is, Jamey. What are your thoughts?
To be honest, I think the only way that we're going to make it in California is the historical racing machines or something to that sort, or we can get in with the tribes to help out. Without that, it's just going to be it's impossible. Man, phone's falling all over the place. It's impossible.
All right.
It's there we go. A lot of competition out there, Oakland, Kentucky, Indiana, Horseshoe Downs. It's just, there's a lot of competition out there, and you got to have a good product if you want to keep running. And the way, like Sanita said, we're up 10% in revenue on betting this past meet. Well, let's see what the state of California's revenue for horse racing is. Let's see if that's up 10%. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
No.
So they got to figure out a way. And like I said, it's either got to work with the tribes, the Indians, or get the historical race machines, or get some kind of, like Texas has the tax on all the grains and stuff, and they get the money from that. So I mean, we have to figure it out. And with the governor and the people in office, they don't seem to care about it. And another thing I just learned today, they didn't want horse racing so bad at Cal Expo that every year they'd have this vaulting show during the fair, and they said, no vaulting. We don't want any horses whatsoever, nothing. And they've been doing it for the last 25 years. And they just said, nope, we don't even, and it's not even money, they go and do it for free.
Right.
So, that's how bad they don't want racing in California, at least Northern California.
Yep.
Wow, unbelievable. And Jamey, before we leave, and I know Steve's going to wrap it up in a minute, but what's your best horse that you've ever trained?
Chancery Way, I would have to say. And you always hear the stories about, the good ones that never made it to the races, which, I've had a couple. Well, you think they're good. You don't really know. But, I've had a few really, really good horses. But Chancery Way by far is the best horse that I've trained so far. Yes.
Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, we certainly appreciate you coming on and giving us little insight. So what do you got? How many horses you got up there in Emerald, and what are your plans from this point forward?
Well, we have 17 up here right now. The plans probably to go from here to Arizona. Just depending, if Arizona opens up, they're supposed to open up in November 1st or right around there. So if everything goes smooth, that looks like that's where we're going. But subject to change. This is horse racing, and it changes day by day here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they've got, Mike and I have talked about it, and Charisse, and, we've had guests on here where we had Don Chatlos on a few weeks ago, and Don is back in that world, that beautiful world of Kentucky where everything is roses. I mean, they love horses, they love, I mean, Charisse and I went there one time, and we were at a bar waiting for our friends to come to eat dinner, and they had on the above the bar they had TVG1 and TVG2 on the TVs, and I said, that's the difference between Kentucky and California right there.
Yeah, they want racing. It's like we don't want racing, or the California people, PETA and all that. They just they're against racing.
Yep.
Jamey, do you think PETA has done a huge disservice to horse racing by their shenanigans?
Oh, absolutely. They bring a negative light to the game. These horses get taken care of like kings and queens. I mean,
Exactly.
you got somebody washing them every day, brushing them every day, exercising them every day. I mean, they're professional athletes. They get treated like professional athletes. And yeah, it's unfortunate things do happen, but I mean, who would want to own a horse sitting out in what horse would want to be sitting out in the field, not being taken care of, just standing out in the sun, eating grass? I mean, that doesn't sound like fun.
No.
So,
and they say that the stats are, and nobody ever talks about the stats, but they say the stats are that the horses that are at wild are 100% more likely to have a catastrophic breakdown than on the track. 100 times difference. And for obvious reasons. I mean, you get an infection out in the middle of nowhere, what are you going to do? You're going to die.
Right. Ain't nobody to treat you.
Yeah, I step in a hole, and you get a quarter crack, it gets infected, you die. I mean, there's things that, yeah, I guess if you're not in the game, you don't get it, but we all get it. Thankfully.
Right. And that's why I love like you meet people, and I love bringing them into the barn and like, hey, I just want you to watch, because you'll hear, it's always the Santa Anita thing when all the horses were breaking down. You'd always, this, that, and the other. Like, come to the barn. I want to bring you guys out to the barn in the morning. I want you to see with your own two eyes how it goes. See how these horses get taken care of. And see the bedding and the feed and the supplements and the love that the grooms give the horses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable unless you see it with your own two eyes. You have hearsay from everybody else. Come and see it for yourself and give your own opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
Amen.
I
Okay.
agree.
Well, I want to thank you again, Jamey, for dropping on by and giving us some picks and a little bit of insight, and seeing your shed row there. It looks real nice. Looks like everybody's got their dinner hanging up. That's nice.
Yep.
Are you working your son very hard or what? His son is assistant trainer to him now.
Oh, nice.
Troy, right?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. I'm working him pretty hard. I'm traveling back and forth from California, so he's here the whole time. He's got a RV right here on the ground, so he's here 24/7. And I put a lot of trust in him. I know he's a hard worker. He's here every day, and the crew and the group working for us is good help. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
3 generations, huh?
Yep, 3. And then my youngest, he actually went to school, Arizona School of Horse Racing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
And he was, I was like, this is not what you want to do, but I couldn't tell him that. But I'm thinking that. I'm like, this is, in California, it's a dying thing. But, he did it. As soon as he got out of college, he got, a job at Golden Gate, and Golden Gate closed. And he got a job at, Pleasanton, and Pleasanton closed. So he was like, okay, well, I guess you were right. And, next summer, he's going to start law school. So hopefully that'll go well.
Good. Excellent. Good to hear. It sounds like he's going the right direction. That's
Yes.
I think law is a better choice than horse racing nowadays. Although if you guys lived in Kentucky.
Yeah, especially in California, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Okay, Jamey. Well, I
Jamey,
thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamey.
All right,
for doing
thank you
that.
guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, as we always do, we when we sign off, we do it like that famous game show back in the '70s. There, Jamey, you'll pick up on this real quick when we do it. It is called a kiss for luck. So goodbye, everybody.
Good luck this weekend.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye,
Take care. Thank you.
Jamey.
All right. Let's